So guys, welcome back to my channel. I know you guys are wondering what really happened in Copper's Pen, North Trelawny. So in this video, I'll be explaining all what happened. As you guys know already, my name is DJ Joe. For newcomers, my name is DJ Joe. And in the meantime, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be going into the straight facts, all articles dug up to give you guys all the updates. And I'm doing it right here in the cool hills of Jamaica. I won't talk my location, but guys, let's get into it. And to be honest, it's really very emotional to see what happened in Copper's Pen, Trelawny, and that some people are now currently homeless. By the way, the persons whose homes were demolished are homeless. They have to be living in tents, and I know the heat of the time is really shocking, and you guys furniture was also damaged in the process. But let's get into the fact, because some people have been living here for years, decades, yes, and all about this was in front of the courts. This started from decades ago, so it's not just a yesterday thing. But let's get into the facts, and I'll be letting you guys know what really happened in Copper's Pen, Trelawny.
And they demolished the house?
Yes!
Alright, so we can find her. So, just outside the hotel gate, the bus stop is here. This is where we're going to find a mother with a 3-day-old baby. Her house was demolished this morning. And we understand that this is where she sought shelter. And we're here to see her.
This morning, the baby part showing the baby string.
Not even the neighbor's string.
Yeah, baby born here, not even a weekend. And at 3 o'clock,
3 days old baby.
Then push her out the house and lock up her baby father.
What am I doing this morning?
We put her there, on the road they put her, we put her there. And our baby father is an ex-soldier.
And take her baby father mistakes from
And what they are doing.
and then tell me to me to move out the people and stitches me get and me can't do it. No. So me just sit down and she did there so with me I go and help.
So what are you going to do now? Where do you go from here? Your house smashed down?
No, then no, she don't have.
I see it? Okay. But you had to come out?
Yes, sir, that is.
So how you feel about that now?
I feel a little bad, yes. I never expect this.
On the early morning of August 11, 2026, that was Tuesday, residents of Copper's Pen in North Trelawny woke up to the sound of heavy equipment outside their homes. According to residents of the demolition crew, arrived sometime after 3 a.m. accompanied by a strong police presence. They came with excavators, sledgehammers, pickaxes, and other demolition equipment. Within hours, homes that had stood for years were reduced to rubble. Reports indicate that between 20 and more than 30 families were affected, leaving scores of people displaced and homeless. Many residents said they had little or no time to remove their belongings before the demolition began. Images from the scene showed beds, stoves, furniture, clothing, household items scattered along the roadside while residents watched their homes being destroyed. For many people, they were asking, how could this happen? But let's start at phase 1. I would say this is phase 1. The land in question is located in an area known as Orange Grove in Copper's Pen, North Trelawny. According to what Nationwide News said, the property is privately owned by New Falmouth Resorts Limited. This is a crucial point. the dispute was not originally between residents and the government. It was between residents occupying the land and the private company that owes legal title to the property. I hope you guys are really listening keenly. Okay? Residents argued that many of them have lived there for 30, 40, and even more than 60 years. Some families say multiple generations were raised on that land. That long occupation is one of the reasons many residents believe they had a legal and equitable claim to remain there. So, if in the year what me just say, I don't know what me. You see me? Also, how the dispute began, the conflict goes back nearly to 2 decades. Yes, from reports indicate that legal dispute began around 2007 when New Farmouth Resorts Limited filed a lawsuit against dozens of individuals who were occupying the property without permission. The company sought recovery of possession of the land and damages for trespassing. This case eventually reached the Supreme Court. Yes. So in 2010, the Supreme Court Justice Donald McIntosh ruled in favor of New Farmouth Resorts Limited. The court ordered that the company recover possession of the property and awarded $50,000 in damages against each defendant for trespassing. Legally, this was a significant victory for the landowner. However, winning a court case and physically removing a large community are 2 different things. The residents remained on the land and the dispute did not end there. So, after the 2010 judgment, residents sought help from the government. During the People's National Party administration, the then Minister of Housing became involved. The Orange Grove lands were reportedly declared an improvement area under the Housing Act, with the intervention of allowing the government to explore acquiring the property and possibly regulating the occupation through the Housing Agency of Jamaica. In other words, there was an effort to find political and administrative solution rather than simply carrying out evictions. Government attorneys later returned to the court seeking to block or delay the eviction process. However, the courts did not accept those attempts. And this is coming from the People's National Party. Back then, the People's National Party was in power when this was going on. According to reports, the applications were dismissed and further legal challenges were unsuccessful. So, literally, it's saying that the People's National Party don't want this. Yeah, they never win. The matter continued through additional legal proceedings. By 2016, the Court of Appeal had upheld the rulings in favor of the landowner. This meant that the company's legal position remained intact. From a legal perspective, the owner had court judgments supporting recovery of the property, but despite those victories, enforcement remained difficult because the settlement had grown over the years. The longer the situation continued, the more families became established on the land. This is where the victory becomes more complicated. Residents insist that they were not simply random squatters who arrived recently. Many claim they had occupied the land for decades. Some residents say there were discussions and agreements over the years that gave them or they would eventually to be able to purchase portions of the property. Several residents claim that around 2019 there was an agreement involving approximately 9 acres of the land and that they had begun efforts to raise money to purchase. Some even argued that people who had occupied the land for more than 12 years should have been given the first opportunity to buy. However, it is important to note that these claims have not been fully sustained. In the public reporting and the legal judgments remained in favor of the private landowner. So no matter what them do, guys, they never get a chance to can purchase the land. S.H.A.R.E. This is one of the reasons the case has become a controversial. One side points to decades of occupation and alleged purchase discussions. The other side points to court orders and legal ownership. So fast forward to August 11, 2026. Before dawn, heavy machinery entered the community. Residents said they arrived. No prior warning was received by the demolition team or the owner of XYZ property. Before the operation began, many were asleep when they were ordered to come outside. One resident described hearing people shouting, "Come out, come out!" Families scrambled to remove furniture, clothing, appliances, and personal belongings, while the demolition crews began tearing down the structures. Residents also claimed that the demolition team indicated it would return in the coming weeks to continue the operation. Whether every affected household had received legal notice remains a major point of the public debate. One of the biggest claims circulated on social media was that the government ordered the demolition. Public officials strongly pushed back against the accusation. Trelawny Northern Member of Parliament Tova Hamilton stated that the demolition was private sector led and that the government had not ordered the operation. She also said the land is privately owned and that the government was trying to understand who initiated the demolition and how best the government can help displaced residents. Hamilton also indicated that being a lodge on the title in favor of the Minister of Housing because of an equitable interest, suggesting that there were unresolved issues involving housing authorities and the property. The Mayor of Falmouth, Colin Gagger, also rejected claims that the government was behind the demolition and called for responsible reporting on the matter. Regardless of the legal arguments, the human impact is undeniable. Elderly residents, widows, and families with children suddenly found themselves without shelter. Some people who had lived in Copper Spring for 40 years or more were forced to rely on relatives for temporary accommodation. Images from the community showed people sitting beside salvaged beds and household items, trying to decide what to do next. For many residents, the demolition came only months after they had already been struggling to rebuild from the Hurricane Melissa. That is why local representatives describe the situation as devastating and inhumane. This case raises a difficult question that Jamaica has faced many times before. What happens when people live on privately owned land for decades? On one hand, property rights are protected by law. A legal owner who has obtained court judgment generally has the right to recover possession of the property. On the other hand, communities that have existed for generations create social, economic, and humanitarian realities that cannot be ignored. Children are born there, people build homes there, they establish churches, schools, businesses, and neighborhoods. So, the conflict is not only legal, it is also moral, political, and social. What happens next? Well, officials have indicated that discussions may continue regarding possible regulations, land acquisition, or other long-term solutions. However, any such solution would have to be follow legal procedures, would not automatically reverse the demolition that has already taken place. Residents are calling for the government intervention and assistance the landowner as legal judgment supporting its position, and the country is left debating whether this outcome could have been prevented years ago. So what I'm saying now, guys, in my closing, my conclusion about all of this matter, it's rough for Copper Spring. Yeah, residents, I have a G right over there, and I saw the G posting that he lost his home in the demolition process. So the Copper Spring demolition did not begin on August 11, 2026. It began nearly 20 years earlier. You see me I say? With a dispute over land ownership that moved through the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, political negotiations, housing proposal, and years of uncertainty. You see me I say? The demolition was the final visible act in a conflict that had been developing for almost 2 decades. Whether you believe it or not, the landowner was enforcing lawful property rights, or you believe the residents should have been protected after living there for generations. One fact remains clear: dozens of Jamaican families lost their homes, and Copper Spring has become a powerful reminder of how unresolved land issues, land disputes, can eventually lead to devastating consequences. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Yeah, let me know. Free if you share in the comment section. What do you think? You see me I say? Do you think the demolition was legally justified, or do you think the residents should have been given a permanent opportunity to purchase and regularize the land? Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned to Flex with Joe with DJ Joe. Big up.